It doesn't take very long before you realize, or before it gets to you. It's cascading on you all the time. You can't get away from certain attitudes, from certain modes of behavior that this town and the industry dictate. And no matter how strong you are, when you come in off the farm with those convictions and a certain line of attack, no matter how strong you are going to be affected by this place.
¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo no estaba enterada de nada. O sea, de los asesinatos, sí.
If you ask most people what their number one fear is, what do you think it is? People's number one fear is public humiliation. Okay? I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not afraid of it.
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit.
Two birds with one night, huh? Oh, God is good. God is great.
Girl, if you tuned into the Oscars this year, brace yourself, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see Hollywood. Denzel Washington and his wife Pauletta fleeing Diddy's Oscar after-party in 2003 wasn't just a dramatic exit, it was the tip of a much darker iceberg. Allegedly, actors only earn certain awards after participating in secret initiation rituals, and these after-parties are far beyond the glamorous wine and chat events the cameras show. We're talking full-blown occult ceremonies, feeding on powers no one wants to name out loud. These aren't the parties photographed on the red carpet. They're hidden, exclusive, and whispered about by insiders like Mel Gibson and Denzel, who were silenced for speaking the truth. Mel stopped attending years ago, and Denzel became selective, discovering the reality only after winning his Oscar. Remember that infamous Will Smith slap? That night, Denzel reportedly warned him, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you." A chilling foreshadowing given how Will's life shifted afterward. Then there's Michael B. Jordan, who allegedly won his Oscar shortly after a public humiliation involving the N-word. And now, the golden statue everyone covets is said to mirror an ancient Egyptian demon designed in 1928 by Cedric Gibbons, a devout Satanist who combined Ptah, Osiris, and Sokar, symbolizing death, resurrection, and initiation into a select hierarchy.
He said, "Man, have you seen the image of Ptah? The image of Ptah is exactly the same as the image of the Oscar." Now let me just share with you another mind blower. All right? Another mind blower. And I can't take the credit for this. I was in Houston, Texas last April, and after my lecture, a brother came up to me and dropped this on me. He said, "Man, have you seen the image of Ptah? The image of Ptah is exactly the same as the image of the Oscar." The Oscar is the highest award that is given by the National Academy of Artists and Craftsmen. Ptah was the patron god of Menepra, the city of Memphis. He was the patron god of artists and craftsmen. All right? They didn't even bother to change the concept. They didn't even change the pose. Our images, our culture is everywhere. That's why they don't want you all reading this stuff. That's why they don't want you all coming to these lectures. That's why they don't want you all teaching this stuff in the classroom.
Winning an Oscar, it seems, isn't just fame, it's initiation. The man behind it all, Cedric Gibbons, was a powerhouse MGM executive who crafted the Oscar back in 1928. While the public assumed it was a harmless night on a film reel, insiders claim Gibbons intentionally embedded a demon in plain sight, a golden trophy masking a secret initiation ritual. Fast forward to last year's Oscars, and people started noticing the stage itself dripping with symbols, pyramids, Babylonian mystery religion motifs, and even the Freemason emblem at its center. Yes, the Oscars were filled with pyramids and the Babylonian mystery religion symbolism. You can see the Freemason symbol right in the center. This is just one more Hollywood Oscars occult ritual after many before it. People still won't believe it. It's really sad. Now that the veil has dropped, everything is being exposed. It's crazy that people believe everything is a coincidence when it's not. These cults thought the truth would never come out. Welp, God said, we will see about that. This revelation sent ripples through Hollywood conspiracy circles, and many traced it back to Mel Gibson exposing secret after-parties and the hidden darkness of award shows all the way back in 1998.
A lack of respect and a dropping off of interest in other points of interest about women. You know?
There's a producer I know, successful producer, I will not mention names, but his whole opinion about women on film, from beginning to end, is very brief. He says, women on film, either naked or dead.
Even though Mel never named names, the public widely believes he was pointing directly at Harvey Weinstein. Just a year later, Weinstein produced Frida, starring Salma Hayek, who later accused him of coercing her into a full frontal scene she explicitly didn't want to do. Over the past 37 years, only 2 Best Actress winners were spared such exploitation, a statistic that speaks volumes about the industry's shadowy undertow.
Nominated tonight.
Come on, Ann, don't be so modest.
No, I'm not modest. I'm just not nominated. You know,
All right.
it used to be, you get naked, you get nominated.
Mel also recounted that when he first moved from Australia to Hollywood, he expected to focus purely on film, but quickly realized the industry's darkness went far deeper. Films were just the surface. Behind the scenes, questionable, even supernatural occurrences were common, and his colleagues seemed complicit. He even called out Christopher Walken for allegedly being Antichrist and possessing uncanny abilities. Months ago, this would have sounded insane, but after the Epstein revelations and details about Diddy's parties, it doesn't feel so far-fetched anymore.
When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be, because a whole place can't be like, you know, Weird Town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill, and it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time, and you think, Now this is what I mean by actually starting to swim up or downstream with the rest of the salmon, you know, eventually, if you stay here long enough, you'll find yourself doing that. He came to see me on a rooftop in New York. I said, hey, can I talk to you? And he said, sure. He floated in, sideways, through a crowd of people. He was wearing black. And it was like one of those old vampire movies where they don't walk, but they glide. And he was a dancer, you know, so he has he's very, you know, graceful. And he moved sideways and he just sat down in a chair next to me. And it kind of frightened me. And he's a very smart guy. And we started talking, and I didn't, you know, say much of anything about reading the script, nothing. I just started talking about the Middle Ages, and he began to talk tortures. And we swapped tortures, because I'd read this book on torture. And I tried to recall some of the most heinous things I'd ever read in this book, and he was like, oh, and he'd try and top it. And and my assistant was there, and he left because he couldn't stand it anymore. The air had turned cold. And then he left, and I wanted to leave. And because I knew that I didn't want to work with him. And he was getting scary. And then I turned around, and it was on top of the Peninsula Hotel. I turned around to avoid his steady gaze at one point, and I was looking at a building with the top of the sixes on it. So there was a huge illuminated 666 in red.
Yeah.
And I went from that to that to that, and he started smiling. Yeah. And I thought, oh no, Chris Walken is the Antichrist, you know?
Unsurprisingly, Hollywood began silencing Mel after these revelations, but he didn't relent. He claimed that his film, The Passion of the Christ, faced opposition precisely because he refused to abandon his faith and submit to their occult practices, standing firm while the industry pushed back. Mel's whistleblowing didn't stop there. His film, Sound of Freedom, which exposed CT networks infiltrating the entertainment industry, had to be self-funded after no studio dared touch it. By revealing decades of criminal activity and exploitation, he made powerful enemies, yet persisted in shining a light on the industry's darkest corners.
It seemed like there was resistance to that movie.
Oh yeah, no, there was...
which I thought was very strange. There was like Hollywood resistance to that movie. Like people didn't like that you were making it, it seemed like.
Yeah, there was a lot of opposition to it. And I don't know. I think if you ever hit on that subject matter, you're going to get people going, because,
of course,
that his sacrifice was for all mankind, and that for all our ills and all the things in our fallen nature, it was a redemption. So, you know, and I believe that. You know, I actually am. You know, I was born into a Catholic family. I'm very Christian in my beliefs, you know. So I do actually believe this stuff to the full. So depicting that was an honor, but it was also, yeah, you got the daylights beat out of you for it.
Yeah.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
Denzel, in contrast, has been quieter, likely because he discovered the demonic layers after winning his Oscar. But the 2003 Diddy Party exit wasn't just rumors. The details go far beyond the media spin. According to a source, Denzel screamed, "You don't respect anyone," as he and Pauletta fled after witnessing something shocking. While the exact events remain undisclosed, speculation runs wild, bolstered by resurfaced footage, including the 2009 escape of model Gabriella Rico from another alleged Oscar after-party.
¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo no estaba enterada de nada. Que había, o sea, de los asesinatos sí, pero que habían comido humanos. ¡Humanos! Fue la carne humana.
Adding weight to the claims, author Barbara Marx accidentally admitted to participating in these practices during a talk on human evolution, leaving an audience in stunned silence. Not one person challenged her, proof that some truths are far more widespread than anyone wants to acknowledge.
To be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the babies we eat, the food we eat.
Similarly, actress Roseanne Barr resurfaced with allegations of ritualistic consumption within the industry. Like others before her, she was labeled unstable, recounting stays in psychiatric facilities alongside survivors who had been left in horrific conditions.
Not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood.
All at the hands of Hollywood elites. Long-standing theories about adrenochrome extraction for youth maintenance also gained traction after Epstein documents confirmed email evidence of such practices.
For years, there has been a long-standing conspiracy theory that Hollywood and the elites harvest the blood of young people and transfuse it in order to reverse age. And now the Epstein files might have revealed that that is in fact true. In this email to Jeffrey Epstein, it says, all you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse aging. This is where adrenochrome comes into play. It is a real chemical compound found in the blood when the body is in a fight or flight situation. And we know that the kids that were involved in Jeffrey Epstein's network were definitely put into fight or flight. And of course, we've seen Hollywood elites like Chrissy Teigen tweet about how they're going to a party where they're serving up 4-year-old cheese pizza with adrenochrome and, of course, the eye emoji. And according to the FBI code words, cheese stands for little girl and pizza stands for girl. Now back to the email. The subject is Dr. Agus, a professor of medicine and biomedical engineering at USC, pretty local to Hollywood. He is also the founding director and CEO of the Ellison Medical Institute. You know, the medical institute funded by Larry Ellison, the new owner of TikTok. And he's also hosted a Paramount show with big celebs like Ashton Kutcher and Oprah Winfrey. If you know, you know. And I think that Hollywood and the elites have been using predictive programming to get us used to this idea. Take Monsters, Inc., for example, where a bunch of monsters go into little kids' rooms to get them to scream, harvest those screams, and then provide energy for the city of monsters. Except in reality, the monsters are a little less cartoon-like. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
While still technically alleged, the mounting testimonies and leaks make the line between speculation and fact increasingly thin. If Mel, Denzel, and countless others are telling the truth, the Oscars deserve immediate scrutiny before it's too late. As viewers react, some note, Mel Gibson has been trying to warn the world for decades. People called him crazy. He was kicked out of Hollywood. The media hated him, while others claim, these people are sick and weird. The Oscars are nothing short of demonic. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Oscars being exposed this way? Do you believe this is the warning Mel and Denzel have been sending us all along? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.